Welcome everybody to the War and Peace Baseball Podcast. I'm here today with Farbod Markazi. I'm Alex Uwe. Alex Rudy is off studying for finals and doing all that nonsense. So it's just the two of us today. How you been? It's been a long time.
Doing pretty good, dude. We're not doing a great job at hosting these. I'm sorry to our four people who watch these, but we'll get back on it.
New Year's resolution is to produce more content, better content, and just improve in every way possible. But it's really busy right now. But I'm sure we'll get into a rhythm. I keep saying that, but I still believe it's going to happen. So, of course, a lot has been happening in this offseason since we last talked. We haven't even talked about the Cubs winning the World Series.
Can you believe the Cubs of all teams won a World Series?
Have you heard the Cubs won the World Series? I think everybody knows that at this point. Baseball fans, non-baseball fans, everybody. The Cubs, their World Series parade was absolutely insane. 5 million people in Chicago. That was something crazy. It just made me feel really good for about a couple weeks, and then the election started taking over, and then that all went to hell. But then, all right. So
yeah,
a lot. That's a pretty accurate summary of all that's been happening. Of course, awards for the 2016 season. Mike Trout and Chris Bryant are your MVPs. Who else?
I'm happy.
Angels fan is happy. And then the Cy Young Award winners are Max Scherzer and Rick Porcello, who, there's a lot of drama around that when that happened. Verlander got more first place votes, but didn't win because...
what's it? Verlander's girl, Kate Upton.
Yeah.
Was so funny.
She's got his back. I like that. And then your rookies of the year, Michael Fulmer and Corey Seager, makes me incredibly happy. And then manager of the year, Terry Francona and Dave Roberts of the Dodgers, not Joe Madden. So it's well deserved.
I personally like the Dave Roberts. I predicted it was gonna be. We had our own predictions. We posted them on Twitter.
Oh, Jesus, how long ago was that now?
That was a very long time. But I said it was going to be Madden because I thought it was going to be him, but I thought Roberts deserved it more so because of what he did with all the injuries and just the crap he went through and still won the division with the Dodgers.
Yeah, well said.
I thought he deserved it.
Yep, indeed. All right, and also one last thing that was pretty significant that happened recently was the new collective bargaining agreement for Major League Baseball. All-Star game.
No walkout in the MLB.
Yeah, again, no walkout. It's what is the streak now? It's
a long time.
It's almost 30 years. Yeah, maybe.
I hope and running and
hopefully. All right. Anyway, All-Star game will not decide home field advantage for the World Series. Hooray! No more of that nonsense. All right. 10-day disabled list instead of 15-day disabled list. That's just a minor change. Hopefully teams will, actually put injured players on the disabled list, because a lot of times they don't. And a couple other notes. No international draft anymore. They just have, signing limits. And then there's plans to have international games throughout in the regular season.
I think that's cool.
Going forward. That's going to be cool. I forget all the locations listed, but it's gonna be more than.
I'm sure you won't see the Padres playing the Phillies, and it's probably gonna be two higher, better teams. Playing international. But either way, it's really cool.
It is really cool. It's gonna be more than just Canada. So yay!
Yeah.
All right. So that is your quick recap of everything that's happened in the offseason that is not related to the hot stove, of course, players flying left and right, money flying left and right. We're going to talk about as much as we can and give you all the details, give you our insight, give you our projections, give you all of that good stuff. And we'll go ahead and start talking about deals as fast as we can. I'm going to say it again. All right, so Josh Reddick signed with the Astros, 4 years, $52 million. Thoughts?
I think he got paid. I think he's a good hitter. I think he has good potential. I think he got I don't know if you talk about the market right now, maybe not, but I think he was still slightly overpaid.
He was not good with the Dodgers that second half of the year. I'll give you that. Josh Reddick is a great defender, though, and he's a much needed left-handed bat for that team. I like that. George Springer's going to play center field for the Astros. I like that too. He's a great athlete. Should be playing center field.
Can I give you the Astros lineup for next year, and you just tell me what like how deadly it is right now? I'm not even going to ask you if I can. George Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Correa, Beltran, McCann, Reddick, Gurriel if he pans out, and Aoki.
That's pretty good. They still
That's
have, they still have Jake Marisnick. They still have like Preston Tucker. So many other young players that are on the rise too. Um, yeah, it's going to be exciting. You may have noticed a couple other names in there. We'll mention those right now. Carlos Beltran also signed with the Astros to a 1-year, $16 million deal. And Brian McCann traded from the Yankees to the Astros. Yankees got a couple of prospects and most of McCann's payroll off of their plate. So I like that as a Yankees fan. Sanchez is going to catch, and we
woo.
dumped McCann's contract basically. So that's cool. No, I love Brian McCann, but he's didn't really have a place with the
Contract.
Yankees. He's going to have a place with the Astros.
I think one thing
certainly.
about McCann is that even though, one of the reasons he probably signed with an American League team in the first place was to he knew as a catcher once his knees finally weren't able to catch 162 games, he was going to be able to DH. But right now, I still think he wants to catch.
No, yeah, he's going to catch. He's going to platoon with Gaddis for sure. It's going to be good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a smaller note, the Yankees also signed Matt Holliday to DH for them. I like that as well. 1 year, $13 million. It's good. It's good for them.
Can't get traded to the A's.
No, but I like.
Really
I think he can have a productive first half of the season. Yankees can get some more value for him, or keep him if they're in the race. Let's talk about some other big signings. Dexter Fowler finally got paid.
I'm
signed
so
with
happy.
the Cardinals. 5
He's
years.
one of the cool guys and good guys of the league too, which is when he has this signing, you just feel good. Like last year, I think he turned down the 3-year 33 from the Orioles, bet on himself with a 1-year deal with the Cubs, and then now he's here with a 5-year 82.
5-year, 82.5. Yeah.
That's pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah, he won a World Series, and then he got paid for it after. He's playing for the rivals now. So we'll see how that goes. Cardinals lineup also very, very impressive now with Fowler at the top.
The year after the Cubs take Lackey and Hayward from the Cardinals take Fowler from the Cubs.
Yeah, they're just stealing players left and right. I love it. All right, who else we got? Kendrys Morales signed with the Blue Jays. He's going to DH for them. So I think they're out of the race on Encarnacion, it seems like right now, unless they can get him
I don't
at a
think
slightly
they're
discounted
out
price.
on Bautista 100%, but because I feel like if you have the opportunity to sign Bautista, if you have the opportunity to afford him, then you can always put him 50 games in the outfield, 50 games, platoon him with someone at first base, and then find something to do with, and then put him at DH for 50 games, and then find something to do with what's his name, Justin Smoke. I think they're out on Encarnacion though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say right now. The Encarnacion market is very weird. Hasn't signed yet, but he's probably going to get close to 100 mil. That's what's likely going to happen at this point. Couple of relief pitchers getting really, really paid. Mark Melancon for the Giants.
This is the offseason of the relievers.
Seriously.
The Royals of 2014 have started just a whole new bandwagon, a whole new era of pitching and how you handle your relievers. I think it's cool, but some relievers are getting paid a lot more than they should.
Yeah, that's true. When relief pitchers are getting 4 and 5 year deals, like Mark Melancon of the Giants got 4 years, $62 million, and Chapman got 5 years, $86 million. That's
how much do you think Chapman would have gotten from the same Yankees if it was 3 years ago?
It's hard to say. The dollar values obviously inflate, but then the amount of years that they're giving these relief pitchers is just something that we're not used to seeing at all.
See, this is my thing. I would never give a starting pitcher more than 4 or 5 years. Because
yeah, and then
as good as they are, pitching arms are ticking time bombs right now. That you don't know how long they can sustain how good they've been or how healthy they've been. So I would never give a pitcher more than 4 or 5 years with a lot of money. So that's why I'm kind of just I'm debating on if I like the fact that a a closer guy who's generally going to be trusted with 1 inning a game in a sport where for the last couple like spring trainings, many teams have come in without a closer and been completely fine. But so like I don't know if I trust like how I feel about these deals, but I mean, good for the Yanks. They got Chapman back.
Yeah, I mean the whole relief pitcher position is constantly changing. There's so many different names that are thrown into the mix, so many guys that, suddenly fall off the table. Is a lot of change that happens, and committing
I
that
mean,
much money over that much time can be risky, but again, these teams are not about just making it to the playoffs. These teams are expected to gear up for the World Series push, and that absolutely is going to take some.
I completely agree with that, but I'm just like asking you. Many teams come into spring training. They have a great offense. They have great pitching. One of the two. They're expected to contend, but they don't necessarily have the one guy that they're set to close their games because they just think that they could spend their time worrying about their offense or starting pitching or the rest of their bullpen more so than having a lockdown closer. I'm not saying having a closer, like a lockdown closer, is not important. It's obviously important. I'm just saying for $86 million, they could have used it for something else.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest arguments. There's cases where obviously having the guy at the back end is going to matter. Mariano Rivera is a great example of that for a long period of time. Koji Uehara for the Red Sox is a great example of the other way around. They won the World Series, and he was like the third closer they used in that season. They stuck with him second half of the year. It was great for them.
Exactly.
And he's now a Cub also.
Take the Rays. They I think every year they come in without like a closer in mind. Last year they had Alex Colom. I don't know.
Yeah, Alex Colomé.
Yeah, and he came in and closed eventually and just had a pretty solid season for if you ask me.
It was a great season.
Yeah, it was a great season
for him.
So
possible trade candidate as well for the Rays. They have a lot of those. Yeah, I figure it's worth mentioning too that the Cubs now have 3 of the last 4 pitchers to make the final pitch in World Series game.
It's so cool.
It is really cool. Madison Bumgarner is probably not going to the Cubs, but in case it does, then that'll make 4-4. At this point,
it might be if you never know now.
Yeah, everybody's talking about that, but who is the pitcher the year before that to make it 4 out of the last 5 years? I'm wondering.
Was it Brian Wilson?
No. Wait, was it?
Brian Wilson won it too. No, that was 2010. Okay.
It was 2012.
That was Sergio Romo.
It was Sergio Romo. It was. He struck out Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, cool. So Sergio Romo to the Cubs. Let's see it. Yeah. Anyway, There's so many more signings. So many more things. Ian Desmond to the Rockies. Another one. 5 years, $70 million.
They're gonna kind of like, as we talked about this, they're gonna like waste his athleticism at first base, but that offense is gonna be really fun to watch.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a weird move. I do agree that having too much depth is never a bad thing. Having players that are athletic enough to play multiple positions in a pinch, that is a really big advantage of having Ian Desmond. I don't know exactly, like, obviously everybody's bat plays better in Coors Field, but I'm kind of wondering how Ian Desmond's power will translate there, because he is a very high strikeout type of guy. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I like that lineup a lot right now. And I don't think they're done. They're still probably going to make some trades going forward. They have some pieces. They want some pitching.
We hope they will.
Probably. They have a very crowded outfield, it seems. Like, there's a lot of potential moves for the Rockies to make still. Speaking of trades, let's go ahead and talk about some of the big ones. These are probably the most exciting trades I've seen in a little while.
The Red Sox cleared out their minor leagues.
Yeah, the Red Sox seem to be trending this way, where they trade huge talent in their farm system for huge talent in their major league roster. They traded for Chris Sale. It's finally been done.
Let's start with the Chris Sale deal.
I just said that.
No, but like let's start with talking about it. How when I first saw this deal, I don't know about you. I think I was in class. I was I was kind of just confused. I really liked the sale pickup for the Red Sox, obviously, but I was really confused why they would part with Moncada.
Like it's so hard to weigh the fairness of a trade like this just because these are all prospects. You don't know exactly what they have in store at the big league level. But I can tell you this: my jaw dropped when I saw this trade. White
Yeah.
Sox got Yoan Moncada, Michael Kopech, and then two other prospects. Forget their names. I think Diaz and Basabe, and they're lower level prospects, but also pretty good. But Yoan Moncada, and they don't, and also the White Sox will not have to pay any of Yoan Moncada's contract, which is pretty significant.
Yeah,
Also,
that was kind of interesting too. I was like, "What the heck?" And then the White Sox go out and get another deal, which was fascinating as well.
yeah, and I mean you can talk a lot about these prospects. Kopech, the 100-mile-an-hour plus relief pitcher, most likely is going to end up, and then some other. I think they got another like a center fielder and a relief pitcher are the other two pieces there. But like Moncada, obviously the number one prospect in Major League Baseball, second baseman, power, speed, does it all. But then it's easy to make it sound like the Red Sox did not get a good deal in this trade. They got arguably the best pitcher in the American League.
They got a great deal in it. I will tell you this though, I do not trust Chris Sale's mechanics to keep his arm healthy.
We've been saying that. How many years have we been saying that now?
I will never trust Chris Sale's mechanics. He throws 96 plus every fastball. He has a dirty slider. I'm not going to take any of that away. But when you throw 96 plus with that dirty slider, with that arm angle, I'm never going to trust his arm to stay healthy. But for the Red Sox, this is he has a very team friendly deal. They are definitely there's no doubt they're in win now mode, especially with what they've been doing recently. And I get their side in this. I just don't see how you can part with Moncada. I don't know how easy it was for Dombrowski to do that, but I imagine it wasn't that easy.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that definitely made it easier for them is the fact that they still have an amazing young core in Boston.
Well, they have Rafael Devers in the minors coming up for third base, which probably gave Dombrowski a just do it, because they have a strong third base prospect coming up to take third base from, and that's arguably one of their spots that, other than second base once Pedroia leaves, that's kind of in question. So that's a good. I think that was that's part of the reason that Dombrowski was like go.
Yeah, but even beyond that, you were able to acquire an ace, a true ace, without parting ways with your young core, Bogarts, Betts, Bradley, Benintendi. All these guys are really going to be, they're going to be that core for a long time. I don't think the Red Sox are going to part ways with any of those guys. I think, I think they just decided right now they needed this piece. Moncada was going to be the one that was going to have to go.
Okay, but I just got this notification on my phone. It says Rays for Chris Archer. They want a bigger prospect. Kind of ironic, bigger prospect haul than Chris Sale.
What does that mean? It's such a weird thing to say, because what does that mean? What is a bigger prospect haul?
Do they want more prospects, or do they want someone like higher potential than Moncada? Because
there's no more number one prospects out there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of confusing, but either he's not getting dealt this offseason and probably before the trade deadline, or some team's going to give up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rays are in an interesting situation. Every year they're contenders. They have the potential to trade their starting pitching and revamp that system. I think they should at least
the Dodgers
trade a couple of those pitchers. The Dodgers could use some.
I think you would go to the Dodgers.
It's a good prediction.
They have the minor league. They have the farm system to trade for it, and the Rays front office. Andrew Friedman knows Andrew Friedman knows the Rays front office.
Yeah, they have some really strong left-handed pitching, obviously with Kershaw. They did sign Rich Hill to a 3-year deal. I forget what it was exactly. I think it was like 47 million, somewhere in that region. He definitely got paid though. It's a cool story. This guy was it independent league baseball 2 years ago, and now
Last,
he's
I
yeah,
think
at
last
the,
year at
the
this
first
time,
half of last season he was, well, I mean the 2015 season. Yeah, that's a
yeah.
great story. Um, yeah, so the Dodgers, nice move there, locking him up. He's on the older side, but uh, that
I
is
was
what it
kind of
is.
surprised with the years he got. I thought it was going to be 2 years max if he got a deal, but I was good
Well,
for him.
I think he's got good. He's got a very dynamic curveball. That one pitch, the command of that off speed pitch really does set him apart. It's not about just pure stuff being able to blow his fastball by players. I think it's an important factor for them. Let's go ahead and talk about some more crazy trades though. Another one where the White Sox stocked up their farm system. They made a trade with the Nationals. They parted ways with Adam Eaton, but in return got Lucas Giolito, Ronaldo Lopez, and one other prospect,
This
Dunning.
this deal for me has two different ways like to look at it. If obviously Giolito has the ceiling to be the incredible start, like a great starter, 98 to 100 every time, but I was watching this on MLB Network a couple days ago. Just he's his development's not there right now. He's a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people are saying he could be a bust. Some people are saying, but I'm just thinking when you throw 98 to 100 and have the stuff he does, and have the pitching coach that the White Sox do, like their pitching coach, I'm blanking on his name, but he's one of the best in the game. I think there's a very good potential for the White Sox to turn him into something, but that's probably why Mike Rizzo of the Nationals was able to part ways with Giolito, thinking there's two ways he could go down. He could either go down. We could either see this guy become an ace or a bust.
Yeah, I mean he's not a young prospect, very developed prospect. The Nationals, you've seen a lot of him. I guess there was just something they did not like with what they saw in the major leagues. That probably didn't help either. But
There's a
Giolito certainly has the talent to contribut in a
Giolito
big way.
in MLB Network. I saw it. I mean, I don't know how much you look at like the spin rates. I was watching MLB Network, like I said. His spin rate was very low for his fastball, and for a guy that tries to blow the ball past hitters and throw and like pitch up in the zone a lot, you can't have a low spin rate if you because that means you have no life on your fastball, and MLB hitters are going to hit that.
That's true. I mean, there's a lot of new, evidence to show what's really important about, pitch, pitch tools and like pitching ability, and it's not just straight up velocity. Nathan Eovaldi is a great example of that with the Yankees. Been struggling with that for a long time. He's no longer a Yankee, by the way.
He
Giolito, I think, does still have that potential.
oh
He
yeah,
has the poise of a top end pitcher. He does have the work ethic. He came back
the
from
only
one
thing is
surgery already. I
when
think
he was
there's a lot of potential there still.
yeah, well, completely. The only thing is, he's when he pitched for the Nationals in the season last year, they did not see the same guy they saw in the Futures game, the year before. I think was it the year before? I think it was the year before.
Yeah, I mean,
So the there's multiple ways to look at this. The White Sox also got two other top 10 prospects for the Nationals. So go White Sox. I mean, good for them. They're stacking up on prospects, and if Giolito pans out, if all these guys pan out, great job by the White Sox.
yeah, and we didn't talk much about Eaton, but Eaton is going to play center field for the Nationals.
Oh yeah, sorry,
He's
Adam.
about as solid as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Trey Turner is going to play shortstop for the Nationals finally. If you feel like this has been we've been waiting to say this for so long, Danny Espinosa has been traded to the Angels. Farbode, go.
Um, I don't dislike this deal. I don't necessarily like this deal because it's just meh. Who cares? But great. He's a great defender. I like his as an Angel fan, we gave up two nobodies, so that's always a plus. The fact that we can give up some nobodies from our nobody farm system for a major leaguer. I liked our up the middle defense with Simmons and Espinoza, and as you said before, it's an upgrade over what's his name, Johnny Givatello.
Johnny G. Yep, that's gonna be the Angels' new second baseman for next year. Not really a big deal though. One more trade that we'll talk about that's pretty significant. Cubs and Royals got a trade done where the Cubs get not Chris. Take that back. Wade Davis. Wade Davis from
Nice.
the Royals.
Nice.
Totally saved it. And they gave up Jorge Soler. Soler finally got traded. We thought it was going to happen last year, pretty much the whole offseason. But now they really got a solidified closer. They lost Chapman, obviously. They had him for that half year. But now Davis, I think just every bit as good as Chapman, in my mind. A little bit more injury risk.
I like the 1 year deal. I mean, like the 1 year Davis for I texted this to you guys. I was very surprised at how the Cubs didn't get at least one more guy for him. Not because just not the Cubs, the Royals didn't get one more guy for him other than Soler. Not because Soler's not enough, but just look at how highly valued every reliever has been this offseason. Just like we said, Chapman got paid 86. What's his name? Melancon got paid 62. Yeah. They get 1 year of Wade Davis for. I mean, Jorge Soler is good, but I take Wade Davis for a guy who is a guy who has pitched in the playoffs, who knows how to pitch, like not how to pitch in the playoffs, but like can like I don't know.
He has experience.
Yeah, he has experience. Thank you. So I'll take that deal. If I'm the Cubs, I'm surprised they didn't give up another guy.
Yeah, Cubs lost Chapman. Still have a great bullpen.
They also have, like we said, 3 of the 4 last guys who pit and closed out a World Series.
Yeah, and I mean, you forget about guys that they had before, like Hector Rondon and Pedro Strop, who were already really good at the back end of that bullpen before they added these other guys.
What happened to Rondon being like a closer?
The Cubs just decided they wanted better closers, and then they just pushed them up. That's about all there is to it.
You think Rondon's like a future like closer or just some?
It's impossible to say. The Cubs don't seem to think of him in that way, but they just want to have the strongest bullpen possible.
I mean they have a lot of things possible right now.
That's true. They're still an incredibly scary team, even after losing a couple big pieces. Yeah, so those are some of the major trades. One other trade that I'll mention real quick is the Mariners and Diamondbacks made a trade where Mariners get Gene Segura and the D-backs get Taijuan Walker.
I was surprised at the fact that the Mariners just gave up on Taijuan.
It's a similar situation. He's high. There was so much potential surrounding him, but they've seen a lot of him in the major league level, and it just wasn't. It wasn't doing it for him. He wasn't productive enough.
But they must have seen more than just like him on the necessarily on like in-game situations because.
Well, actually, last season
when you look at his not necessarily first half. Yeah, no. When you look at his first half, not necessarily first half, but like first couple months at least, he was throwing really well.
Yeah, and I think Taijuan Walker has said that he was pitching with bone spurs in his foot for most of the season, actually. So that is probably it's definitely a factor. It's a concern, but the D-backs think that kind of potential is worth it, and they flipped Gene Segura around for it, and that's pretty good.
I'd make that deal with the type of obviously we haven't seen Taijuan put a full season of this, but like I said, he had a very not just good or solid, he had a very good first couple months of the 2016 season. So I think if they can find a way to make him sustain that, that's a very good deal for them.
Yeah, and Mariners also got I think Mitch Haniger is his name. I forget his first name. He's center fielder though. He he had a very good season in the minor leagues last year, and did well in his short time up in the big leagues with the Diamondbacks. So he might be in the mix for center field there as well. Keep your eye out for him. Yeah, so there's obviously a lot more stuff that has happened. I'll rattle off a few more.
So you're
Just
telling me
real
the
quick.
Franklin, you're telling me the you're telling me the Franklin Gutierrez era for the Mariners is over?
Yeah, the Franklin Gutierrez, Leonis Martin tandem might not last as long as people thought, I guess.
We forgot about Ketel Marte going to the Diamondbacks. That's blockbuster.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it briefly, but that was the same deal. They basically just got him in return. He's nothing special, good athlete, but nothing much more than that. A couple other signings that are maybe noteworthy. Carlos Gomez signed with the Rangers 1 year, 11 mil. Mitch Moreland signed with the Red Sox 1 year for like 5 mil. Jason Castro
I like
signed
the
with
Moreland deal.
Minnesota, 3 years actually with Minnesota, 24 mil. Wilson Ramos signed a 2-year deal with the Rays. That is going to be interesting to see because he was one of the premier offensive players and had a major injury, and that's going to set him back at least halfway through next season. So we'll see how he's able to recover from that. Is a lot of risk, obviously. He was in a good position to get paid before that happened.
I like
it's
the
too
potential
bad.
for Wilson Ramos. I like the potential for Wilson, like the Wilson Ramos deal, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Rays do seem like a good team to do that. And get they can afford to sign a guy
I'm
like
surprised
that.
it wasn't like a 1 year. I'm surprised it wasn't like 1 year with like incentives, like, with a lot of incentives.
Yeah, I mean, I
Great
don't
talk right
know.
now.
I don't know the whole business of getting a deal like that done with a player that has sustained that kind of injury so recently. So, I don't know much
And we
about
don't know
that.
what went on with the Rays front office. We don't know anything that went.
All we know is that
Yeah,
healthy
so
Wilson Ramos can hit.
go.
That is what matters. Yeah, I think that covers most of the hot stove so far. I am like pretty much out of breath at this point. Um, Anything else you have to mention that's left off the table,
Um,
or you know anything else you'd like to add?
yeah. One thing.
No, you're cutting out a little bit.
Where you at?
Huh?
I said we miss you, Rudy.
Is that okay? I didn't get
I
any of
said we
that.
miss you, Rudy.
Yeah, I know. I got it
Am
now.
I back?
Your connection's
Yeah.
getting really bad. I think that is a sign right there that it's time to wrap this up. We took you through basically everything that's happened this MLB offseason so far, and of course we'll update you on everything that's happening going forward as well. We'll break everything else down for you. There's a lot of free agents and a lot more trades that are ready to happen. The hot stove is still sizzling, so. Yeah, that is it for now. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Of course, we appreciate any feedback you have. Please, you can tweet us at WPB_podcast on Twitter. Check out our website. The link is down below for that. I think there were problems with it last time I checked it out, but I will get that fixed as soon as possible. You can email us,
Yeah,
leave
you're done with
comments.
finals.
What's that?
I said you're done with finals. You can do that.
I can do anything I want now. I'm done for the winter. So yeah, I will be making sure everything is good there. But yeah, feedback any way you can. All the links are in the description. Thank you again. We will be back hopefully on a more regular basis going forward. We are ready to bring you more baseball talk. That's what it's all about, right?
That's why we do this.
Yep, it sure is. And yeah, so we'll see y'all next time. Have a great day. As always, Farbode.
Peace.